You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, of course, the biggest NFL game of the year is today. It's this afternoon. You guys know I'm a Niners fan, so I am on high alert today. It's a code red today because I think a lot rides on this game. Do I think the Niners can win it? Yeah. Do I wish they were playing in Santa Clara? Yeah. Being in Philly, that's a hell of an atmosphere. It's hard as hell to play, and it is going to be a very tough game for the 49ers to win. That's not really why we're gathered here today to talk about the Eagles. It's not. Jalen Hurts is an MVP contender? I heard that, and I was like, wait a minute. He's got 10 interceptions. Mac Jones has got 12, and he just lost his job. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's having a solid year because of the rushing aspect of his game. But if you've thrown 10 interceptions and you don't have but 18 touchdowns right now, I'm not thinking about you for MVP. That's not in my conversation. It's not even in my airspace. But that's not what this video is about either. I heard that mentioned on Bill Simmons' podcast, and I was like, wait, what? God, as much as I hate to say it, Dak Prescott right now is kind of a guy for MVP. I mean, if you go back and look at Dak's numbers, they're pretty substantial. They're pretty jaw-dropping. So let's take a look at this, because this is about the tush push. And I'm not going to kid you, this brotherly shove, this tush push, it's a hell of a play. It really is. It's one of those plays that what I think about when I think about this play is kind of the same feeling I got back when the Wildcat showed up. I'm old enough to very much be able to remember when the Wildcat came into the league. The Dolphins just sort of threw it out there and started running it. And defenses didn't know what the hell to do with the Wildcat. They really didn't. Now, it took about a season and a half, and defenses caught up to it. And now you rarely see anybody. People do still occasionally run maybe one or two a game, or every other game, though. You'll see a Wildcat play snap directly to the running back, but you don't see it like we saw it then. It was branded unstoppable for a while. Now this play, well, for the Eagles anyway, and there are teams, and other teams have tried to make pathetic attempts at this brotherly shove / tush push, and it hasn't looked nearly as strong with these other teams. But with the Eagles, no doubt, it's a massive advantage. And Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, and you guys know I have talked about at length how I feel about him. I mean, he's worthless as tits on a boar hog. Again, a chimp could have steered the NFL towards all this TV money over the years because, well, the NFL is the number one television product that there is, the number one entertainment product. And that's not Roger Goodell's doing. It's not. The NFL has scored massive ratings, and this is the evolution of what was going to happen as far as television money went. And Goodell gets so much credit for that. He's not nearly the commissioner that I said the other day that Pete Rozelle was, or Paul Tagliabue, those guys. No. And he wants to ban the tush push. And look, I'm a Niners fan. I get it. You would think as a Niners fan, I'd be like, oh yeah, go out there and ban it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think this is a horrible idea, and I understand the advantage it gives. The Eagles essentially have 4 downs to only have to get 8.5 to 9 yards. I mean, they are playing games with what seems like a yard to yard and a half advantage right now when they're running plays and they're on an offensive series. But I don't give a damn about that. It's still just an offensive play. And I do not think it should be banned. I think it should be just a lot like the Wildcat. I mean, the fact is, it should be up to NFL defensive coordinators and head coaches to figure out a way to scheme this play out of the league. If you want it out, if you want it to stop the play from working. Figure out how to combat the play and stop letting the Eagles successfully run it 9 out of 10 times. It shouldn't be up to a commissioner, and this shouldn't even enter into the commissioner's head right now. I think this is awful. Whether it's called the tush push or brotherly shove, this is Yahoo. There's one thing NFL commissioner wants to see on the popular Eagles play: a permanent ban. That's absurd. Philadelphia has made the play one of the league's premier talking points of the season due to its unheralded success. Too bad. Defensive coordinators of other teams, and Lord knows I've got no love for the Eagles. None. But this is ridiculous. Once you see the Eagles line up in the formation with less than a yard to go, you might as well just give them the free first down. If you can't stop it as a defensive coordinator and you can't scheme a way to successfully stop it, then yeah, okay, give them the free first. I mean, I don't care. Former Eagle turned 49er Javon Hargrave wished he knew how to stop it ahead of the pivotal Week 13 clash on Sunday, but it might not need to be stopped on the field. Ahead of the competition committee's gathering in 2024, the tush push is starting to gain steam of being heavily debated. Commissioner Goodell reportedly wants to see the play removed from the game permanently. The Athletic's Diana Rossini reported Saturday, citing a league source, quote, "It's apparent this is going to be heavily debated among the competition committee made up of owners, general managers, and coaches." I think even Jerry Jones came out a while back and was like, I don't think he wanted to see it banned either. I think he had the same take I did. Figure out how to stop the damn thing. Quote, "It's important to note that there isn't a single person from the Eagles organization on the competition committee." Why is that? However, 3 of their divisional opponents are represented. Giants owner John Mara, Cowboys COO Stephen Jones, Washington head coach Ron Rivera. Well, he won't be on it for long because he's going to be without a job here in about another month. Quote, "Though it will all come down to voting, the most important opinion about the play may come from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. I was told by a league source that Goodell wants to see the play removed from the game permanently." In discussions around plays like this, health and safety of players spearhead the discourse. But Rossini added, citing sources, that optics, not injuries, are the leading dialogue on the tush push. From everything that I've been told by multiple league sources, injuries aren't happening as much despite big bodies ramming into each other every week when the play is used, Rossini wrote. The 49ers don't have the luxury of waiting until next year to stop the play, though. They'll likely face it on Sunday and maybe come again in the playoffs. They'll need their stars to come up big. Look, the play may end up beating my Niners. You know what I mean? It may end up beating my Niners. Look, my defensive line, Bosa, all those guys, Armstead, figure out how to stop the play. Steve Wilkes, scheme something up and figure out how to stop the play. That goes for Dan Quinn, and that goes for Vance Joseph, and that goes for every other defensive coordinator in the league. It is a play in a game. And they said right there that injuries aren't jumping off the screen because of this play. Let the coaches figure out how to successfully stop the play. Once they figure out and scheme up a way to stop the play, the Eagles and any other team, for the most part, will quit using it. It's that simple. Scheme it out of the game. I mean, that's why the Wildcat is virtually never used anymore. Why? Because Defensive coordinators have figured out how to stop it. Sometimes that takes a while to scheme up something. And by the way, it hasn't run very successfully for any other teams except the Eagles. It's ridiculous that Goodell has even went down this road. Again, Lord knows I've got no love for the Eagles at all. As a 49ers fan, I do not. But this is stupid. It's stupid. It's an offensive play, one that the Eagles have figured out how to run to perfection, and if they want to run it on 4 downs on every offensive series, and it just keeps working, they should be able to do that if the play is not injuring people, which it sounds like it is not. You got all these guys. You have defensive coordinators making $3 million a year now. You can't figure out how to scheme out this play? Every time they run it to success, I just shake my head because I'm like, DeMeco Ryan, you can't figure it out in Houston. I mean, he's a head coach, but he's a defensive guy. Robert Saleh can't scheme this thing out of the league? I don't know. I mean, I just find this absolutely absurd that because this thing is this much of a competitive advantage right now, because the Eagles are created it, and they're the ones that have figured out how to use it, now Roger Goodell wants to ban it because they think it's unfair. Bullshit. It's football. It's the offensive scheme versus the defensive scheme. I mean, there have been stories over time of quarterbacks getting out on a field, and they have figured out there are 1 or 2 offensive plays that teams cannot stop. And there are stories of game-winning drives where guys have went out for 10 and 12 play drives, and they ran the same play for 10 or 12 plays in a row because they could not figure out how to stop it. Eventually, the play, and you go to the next team knows how to deal with it. So they can't do that. That's football. Guys, I don't often get to rant too much anymore. This is ridiculous. Once again, Roger Goodell is worried about things he shouldn't be worried about. Figure out how to get all the domestic violence scumbags out of your league. How about that? Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.